Hey everybody, it's your girl Planet Tot on deck. I hope you guys are having a great day, afternoon, and or evening whenever you guys are seeing this. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys already know I appreciate that, right? So imagine having all your dreams come true in an instance simply by winning $30 million. Today, I'll be sharing the case of Abram Shakespeare, who won just that. You want to know what happened and see how his life turned after he won $30 million? All you guys got to do, stay tuned. All right, so thank you guys so much for being back on deck. Without further ado, let's jump right into the story. So Abram Lee Shakespeare was born on April the 24th, 1966 in Lakeland, Florida, to mom Elizabeth Walker. It was said that Shakespeare quit school in the 8th grade to join his father doing labor jobs, mostly sanitation work. Family stated that Shakespeare could not read or write as a result. Around the year 1999, Shakespeare met girlfriend Antoinette Andrews, and a couple of years later, they had a son named Moses Shakespeare. Although the couple shared a lot of love, their relationship didn't last. And I think we can all relate in one way or another. If you ever felt like you've ever had love, then you know what it's like to not have love. Okay, so on November the 15th, 2006, Shakespeare's co-worker, Michael Ford, buys 2 lottery tickets at Shakespeare's request. The lottery ticket was worth $30 million. Shakespeare later won the lottery based on the tickets that he had his co-worker Michael buy. January 2007, Shakespeare buys a $1.1 million home in a gated community in North Lakeland. Around April 2007, Michael Ford sues Shakespeare for allegedly stealing the winning lottery ticket. On October 19, 2007, a jury takes a little over an hour to rule that Shakespeare did not steal the winning lottery ticket from Michael Ford's wallet. October 2008, DeeDee Moore arranges to meet Shakespeare, purportedly to write a book about him. So things are speeding up now, guys. Shakespeare's won the lottery. He's fell out with the coworker. He's bought a new house. And now all of a sudden, here's a new person, and they want to write a book about him. By January 2009, the ownership of Shakespeare's home is transferred to American Medical Professionals, which is owned by Moore. So just about a year or under of meeting the lady DeeDee Moore, and all of a sudden Shakespeare's home and other assets are transferred under her company name. Later in 2009, according to Polk County records, Shakespeare's home and other properties were sold or assigned to American Medical Professionals. Reports suggest that in April 2009, Shakespeare is last seen in the Lakeland area of Florida. April 6, 2009, according to detectives, this is the last day Shakespeare used his cell phone. On April the 24th, the Polk County Sheriff's Office declared that Shakespeare was missing. So if we're following the timeline, right, detectives suggest that the last time that Shakespeare used his cell phone was in April of 2009. However, detectives did not report Shakespeare missing, or they didn't accept a report of him being missing until November. So we're looking at a 7-month difference. And I have so many question marks going on and red flags going off in my head, because I'm wondering, why would it take 7 months to say, yeah, the person has to be missing now? Why not within 30 days? Why not within a couple of weeks? 7 months seems to be an extreme amount of time before declaring that somebody is missing. What do you guys think? Light up the comments and let me know. December 3rd, 2009, in an interview with detectives, Moore claims that the reason that some of Shakespeare's assets went into Moore's business accounts was because he did not want to pay child support. So now the new person in his life, DeeDee Moore, is saying the reason that she has Shakespeare's house under her business name, as well as some of his other assets, is because he didn't want to pay child support. What do you guys think? Authorities say that Shakespeare, 47 at the time, was shot twice in the chest by a .38 caliber pistol sometimes in April 2009. His body was found under a slab of cement in a backyard in January 2010. December the 27th, 2009, Elizabeth Walker, Shakespeare's mother, receives a phone call from someone pretending to be Shakespeare while she's out eating with DeeDee Moore. Now, how convenient is that? It is my assumption that DeeDee Moore likely suggested that the mother and her meet. It could have been the other way around. But however, they're meeting, they're eating, all of a sudden, out of the blue, someone who's pretending to be her son is calling now and speaking with his mom. Now, here's the whole thing. If you are a parent, or even you don't have to be a parent, you can just be the loved one of someone who you know close and dearly to you, right? Do you think that somebody could get away with pretending to be them to you? If they called on the phone, do you think they could really disguise their voice and convince you that it's me? I don't know. Light up the comments. Also in December 2009, Moore wrote to Shakespeare's mom, posing as him, saying that he is fine. Now, keep in mind, Shakespeare didn't read or write. So how could he be writing a letter to his mother saying, "Oh, Mom, I'm fine. All is well"? So Polk County authorities claim Moore offered someone a $200,000 house in exchange for reporting a false sighting of Shakespeare. She also allegedly sent the victim's son $5,000 in cash for his birthday and used the victim's cell phone to send text messages from him. So, you guys, you're offering somebody $200,000 house in exchange for falsely reporting that they saw Shakespeare? Now, why would you ever do something like that? I think we already know, but let's finish the story. Shakespeare's mother, Elizabeth, testified that Moore tried to hide that her son was missing and said that he had AIDS. Now, perhaps this has something to do with why it took investigators 7 months to actually accept the fact that Shakespeare was missing, because there was a lot of false reports going on. There was false sightings of Shakespeare. There was different things like that would suggest that he was still present. So let's get into a little bit more information about Moore herself. So Moore was born Doris Donegan DeeDee Moore, nicknamed DeeDee Moore, on July the 25th, 1972. In 2001, Moore was convicted of insurance fraud and falsely reporting a crime. Moore served a year of probation and filed for bankruptcy in 2002. So it seems as though Shakespeare, met up with someone who already had a sketchy past anyhow. I mean, it's not I wouldn't say it was the worst past ever, but however, if you're serving a year for fraud and for falsely reporting a crime, well, you seem to have a history of reporting things that are not necessarily true. Just like earlier in this video when I talked about how it is alleged that Moore tried to offer someone a $200,000 house to say that they saw Shakespeare, when in fact they did not. So Abraham Lee Shakespeare, he was murdered December 7th, 2009. On December 10th, 2012, Moore was convicted of first-degree murder for the killing of Abraham Lee Shakespeare and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, with an additional minimum sentence of 25 years for possessing a gun in the course of a violent felony. It was stated that Moore was planning on selling the rights to her story in order to pay $200,000 to a lawyer who could get her out. Moore later denied the charges. So it seems to me that this whole thing with Moore killing Shakespeare was long premeditated. Like, before she ever got to know him personally, it feels like almost as if, how somebody they set out to do something and say, "Oh, this will be a good target." And it seems like she looked at him, she cased him out and said, "He's the next victim," and made that so. So you guys light up the comments and let me know, what do you guys think about this? A $1 million trust was set up for Andrews and Shakespeare's son, Moses, which he'll have access to once he turns 18. Now, because this story is older, Moses is already 18 and already has access to his $1 million trust. But the question marks that swirled around in my head when I found this part out was, one, Moses claimed, no, I'm sorry, Moses didn't claim, Moore claimed that The reason why Shakespeare put his assets, his home and other assets in the name of her company is because he did not want to pay child support for his son. But that's contradicting to what this says right here, because if that was the case, then if he was so worried about paying child support for his one and only child, then why would he set up $1 million trust fund to make sure that his child is taken care of in his absence? You guys following the story? Did anybody else pick up on that? Statistics show that about 70% of all lottery winners spend or lose all of their money within the first 5 years. Now, has anybody watching at home ever won the lottery? And I mean the big stakes, right? Like millions of dollars. If so, did you lose all your money within 5 years? Do you still have some? Are you that rare, ordinary breed that knew how to properly invest to make sure that your money could work for you long term? If so, light up the comments and let us know. We'd love to know about that. So the difficulty Shakespeare experienced as a result of winning the lottery and his subsequent murder were the focus of the American E! television program Curse of the Lottery. Also, a 2013 episode of American Greed, that is, a July 2013 episode of Deadly Women, a September 23rd episode of Snapped, all reenacted details of the Shakespeare case. Moore was featured in a 2011 episode of the television show Lockup while in the Hillsborough County Jail in Tampa, Florida. Now, what's really interesting about that is it feels like to me Moore set out this premeditated crime. It's all surrounding around her ability to falsely represent herself, around her ability to be manipulative and kind of like cunning and things like that. And she set out to do that. And then it feels like she kind of became like a celebrity by way of doing this, a criminal celebrity, but a celebrity all the same. I mean, she's doing interviews. She's talking about selling her story. Like, really, who cares why you would do something so sick? Who cares why you premeditated to destroy this man's life and a part of his family? You know what I mean? Things like that. But it seems like
saying that in a letter that she wrote to the judge not too long ago, that in fact she knows who the real killer is, and she's pointing to a key witness in this case.
Who can forget the many faces of notorious killer DeeDee Moore? During her murder trial, Moore created a few spectacles that even left her tongue-tied.
I had an anaphylactic, sorry, my tongue. I had an anaphylactic shock.
Moore was convicted of killing lottery winner Abraham Shakespeare and stealing his money. But in a handwritten letter to the court recently, DeeDee Moore apologizes, quote, "I'm truly sorry to the prosecutor, Abraham's mom, and the others I have hurt for not being truthful. I regret my actions." But in the next breath, DeeDee Moore denies being the killer and instead points the finger at key witness Greg Smith.
I was okay, and I was out of town.
Smith testified during her trial. He helped police by secretly recording DeeDee Moore admitting to the murder and cover-up. She even asked Smith to help her.
She wanted me to call Abraham's mother and tell Abraham's mother that I was him.
But now DeeDee says Greg Smith is the real killer. She claims he had a motive to kill because Abraham Shakespeare, she says, was having an affair with Smith's wife.
That Greg Smith was motivated to kill, that Greg Smith killed him because of this extramarital affair that was going on. We got to look at the source. The source is now an admitted liar who's serving.
So it seems as if Moore was getting a lot of publicity based on the crime that she committed. So on June 15, 2017, Antoinette Andrews, the mother of Shakespeare's son, Moses, won $1 million on a $20 scratch-off Monopoly ticket she bought at a Circle K. She said, quote, "I'm a little scared," Andrews said. "It still doesn't seem real." Andrews was scared about a lot of publicity and because of what happened after Shakespeare won $30 million from the Florida lottery in November 2006. Now, what's really interesting about that is like all the luck for the lottery in Florida? Of course, I'm being sarcastic, but yeah, oh my God. So what's the odds that within the same family that multiple people would actually win the lottery? Who knew, right? Okay, as of June the 7th, 2019, The richest lottery winner as of that date was identified as Learny Biblau from San Diego, California, winning $522 million. Okay, everyone, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys have enjoyed rocking with your girl. I really appreciate it. If you guys are new here, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell anyone and everyone, your girls out here, story time and true crime stories that you may or may not have heard about, but I would love your opinion. So light up the comments and tell me what you think. If you guys would like to sponsor this story time or any other story time, you guys can do so by dancing on over to Cash App. Put in $ your favorite besties. So I appreciate you guys being on deck. Like I always say, there's always another story to be told. But for now,